And visualizing it can help you see where the division is between these different groups. On one side, we have nature plus grace, and way over on the other side, we have nature versus grace. Now, way over on this side, we have the Catholics, who are probably on the utmost extreme of nature plus grace. The church, the sacraments, even the saints, are all heavily interlinked with the grace of God. The Orthodox aren't too far away, but there is a slight difference. The difference being Catholics really love to dissect the interdependentness of grace and nature, while Orthodox leave a lot of their sacramental life to mystery. They don't try to go into great detail explaining transubstantiation or how exactly the saints might hear your prayers. They just say, that's what we believe and that's good enough for us. And yet it's clear they can align with Catholics that grace and nature are not in conflict but in tandem. Lutherans also have a high view of the sacraments. So if the median is here, we can place them pretty prominently right there. Lutherans believe in baptismal regeneration and the real presence, but have a lower view of the church compared to Catholicism and Orthodoxy. Anglicans are tricky, because on one hand, Anglo-Catholics are pretty aligned with Catholicism and Orthodoxy. They don't go as far as Catholicism to dissect things like transubstantiation. They leave that up to the believer. But they're highly sacramental, and many Anglo-Catholics are very comfortable venerating icons and praying to the saints. And yet, you could join another Anglican parish that's highly evangelical, which would put them a little bit more squarely right here. Because of this, they'll meet in low church buildings, have evangelical style worship. So Anglicanism could be all over the place, really. If we were to put Presbyterianism or just the Reformed tradition generally on one side or the other, I think they'd be just short of crossing the median from nature versus grace to nature plus grace. The Reformed tradition especially emphasizes sola Deo gloria. The entire world, the church, scripture, it's all pointing to God's glory alone. And so the historic Reformed tradition has been very skeptical of nature and its relationship with grace. Many Calvinists in the early Reformation and still today are iconoclastic in nature. And yet, they're not fully rejecting that there is some sort of sacramental nature to the world around us. Finally, you have evangelicals, Baptists, non-denoms, who are very skeptical of nature versus grace, as we've talked about. The only group that might go farther than them are the Quakers. They might actually be the antithesis because they reject all of the sacraments entirely. They don't baptize their believers and they don't give them any communion. It's not easy to say all of Protestantism completely rejects the nature plus grace dynamic, and you can see this play out in church history. Lutherans and Anglicans have a much easier time playing ball with Catholics and Orthodox, whereas fundamentalist Baptists, Quakers, evangelicals, they all show a lot more skepticism towards this side of the fence.